Oh, there you are, YouTube.
October 28th. What are we watching?
Which one?
Yep, that's the one. What's it say? Okay, ready? Silent Hill.
What is it? Did you
The
forget?
hand that walks the equator.
No!
Silent Hill.
That's right. Way to go. Thank you. You gonna put it back?
Say what?
I think I saw this a long time ago.
Silent Hill. So I was trying to remember if I had seen this movie or not. All I really had in my head was like a pyramid head man and some like soft dust, snow, something falling from the sky is kind of where my mind was. And after watching the movie, I don't think I actually sat down and watched it. I think, if I can recall correctly, I think I was just at my friend's house and it was sort of just on in the background because I'd never played this game, and I don't think I've ever watched anybody play it. But this pyramid head dude, and then just soot falling from the sky, ash falling from the sky, and sort of walking through fog slowly was all that was really in my head. Um, and, and nothing else really. So after watching it, I don't think I have seen it in full. Pretty positive I haven't. I think it was just me at my friend's house and it was on in the background and I wasn't really paying attention to it. But this movie, I think was very long. It felt incredibly long. It was 2 hours and some minutes, and it was a like studio film. What was it, TriStar or something like that? And so it has that studio feel. It doesn't even really feel like a horror film. I guess it does feel like a video game movie or an action movie. Um, some things felt like they came out of left field, which I think makes sense because it is a um, video game movie. Because there's this one character, I can't even remember their name, but they almost look like a witch or something like that, and they look like they like are they would be from like a Power Rangers movie or like Willow or some sort of sword and sorcery movie or something like that. And it was just kind of like, I don't know, this is like she's almost silly. Didn't really fit the rest of this. I don't know. I was having a difficult time getting into it, and I think it was just because the movie felt so massive, and we've been watching a lot of lower budget horror films, and just something about it felt too maybe produced, overly produced. Maybe is that the word I'm looking for? The descriptor I'm looking for. I don't know, but um, it just I don't know. Like some of the special effects looked really good, I should say, and there were practical effects that looked awesome. But then there were moments of CGI where it's like, oh man, this just like does not work fully. Like there were these like lava looking babies, and I think if it were just like one lava looking baby, it would have been more scary. But you have like a whole army of these things that look exactly alike, and you got that like from action movies from back then. And I mean, you still get that today sometimes with action movies, superhero movies, like these like otherworldly creatures that all look the same. So even in no very little individuality, and it just appears like people are fighting off a like robot army or something like that. And there's another scene that happens like that with a bunch of nurses, but they look a lot more practical effect. They look a lot more like practical effects or people with makeup on and special effects and stuff like that on their body. I think that one's more effective, but still, there's just like too many of them. I feel like if they were just like singular characters, or maybe a group of 3 or 5 instead of like a whole army feel to it, maybe five's even too much. Um, those scenes would have come across a little bit better because it does just seem like a like like on a computer you just pressed play or something and then AI kind of fills in the gaps. I don't know, like I know that really wasn't around back then, but it just doesn't. I don't know, something about it just like shuts it down and doesn't allow it to be uh, scary. It really turns it into like an action film or something. You know, this is after Lord of the Rings, where you had armies crashing into each other. So, you know, maybe it was aiming for something like that. Also makes me think of like World War Z a little bit, where you just have like mobs of zombies. Here we had this mob of lava babies. It just, I don't know, it didn't work for me, this movie. But some great scary imagery in it, creepy stuff that reminded me of the movie Seven. Like all of that was really cool. I just don't think for some reason the movie as a whole really worked for me or could really keep me invested and entertained and interested in all of those things. Um, yeah, I don't know. I There was a lot to appreciate about it, but as I just don't see myself sitting down and watching this again, again ever. But anyway, what did you think of the movie? If you've seen it, have you seen Silent Hill? I'd love to know your thoughts on it. It was, I mean, there was a lot of scary imagery in it, but again, the movie as a whole wasn't. It was like that part right there, that thing right there is scary. Um, you know, but like this one guy that was like crawling around like this on his belly, but his legs were like wrapped around the back of him. I don't know. He was pretty frightening. Someone who was like hanging on a fence, like through looking through goggles, pretty freaky. But anyway, what are you watching this holiday season as we inch closer and closer to Halloween? We are almost there. I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below, and perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.